Now you can enjoy the happiness of the holidays for the next 6 months by paying less and making more money by getting 180 days of picks from your favorite handicapper at a huge discount. This limited time Christmas special gives you a 90-day all-access pass with a handicapper of your choice at WagerTalk.com, plus an additional 90 days of all-access passes at no additional cost, an $849 value. This comes out to just under $5 per day, includes all sports released and any 5% best bets, normally priced at $35 each. Your access with your handicapper will cover NFL through the Super Bowl, college football through the national championship, any NBA and NHL action, including playoff games played during access and the start of the MLB season. Plus, if your handicapper does UFC, soccer, tennis, or any sport, yep, it's included. Happy holidays from everyone at WagerTalk.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV. I'm Andrew McInnis. I have Carmine Bianco with me and Don Buster. And unfortunately, this is our last Puck Time show until Boxing Day. Although I'm also hearing it might be the last Puck Time show until the new year. But we have a show here today, and we were happy to have a show. And we have two games that we hope will not get canceled. And we have some hockey to be played. So as much as yesterday on the show, we were disappointed to see a show get canceled live on the air. Hats off to Carm for being attentive and letting us know about that on the air. But we do have some games to discuss, some promos, some packages to promote, and best bets from the three of us at the end of the show. Carm, it's fun doing this show. We enjoy doing it, and it's rough to see what's happening right now to the NHL, and obviously every single league across all sports. We are here today, and we have a show for today, and we'll try and break down some of these games. But you got me last night in our head-to-head, Carm. That was a messy, messy game with the Stars and the Wild. And the funny thing is, and I have you on record for this, you said if it was an over game, it'll probably be in favor of the Wild. Oh, boy, that did not work out my way. The Dallas Stars put up some goals, man, so hats off to you.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. I will say this, a couple of my clients, my NHL clients, sent me some messages just to ask about the game prior, about an hour or so prior to game time, and just asking about what I thought about the total. And I didn't release the over to clients because I talked about on the show how if you liked Minnesota, it would likely be an over, and if you like Dallas, it would likely be an under, sort of the simplistic way I referred to it as. Then I got some information from one of my books about some sharp action on the over from one of their big accounts, and I did play the over, as did the ones that messaged me, but I couldn't put it out as a play because I would be contradicting what I said on the show, and that just seemed kind of shady to me to do that. Tell people on the show I like the under, and then release the over. I just can't do that. That's 1970s sports handicapping kind of stuff. But the NHL, a bunch of games obviously canceled. 2 games tonight. The Philly-Washington one, the Vegas-Tampa one. Those are the ones we'll cover with Don Buster, who's on the show, and I'll go to him shortly. But the good news is, and I talked about it yesterday, and this is just coming out, the NHL players and NHL PA, they will not be going to the Olympics. They're going to inform the Olympic Committee, I guess, that they will not be going. And then there'll be a formal announcement coming out. But it is great news to know that the NHL is not going to the Olympics. That just means that February will have a lot of NHL games for us, or at least all of the ones that have been canceled. So I think that's a good sign moving forward. Hopefully the games on the 27th go on. They are still listed as being played on Monday the 27th. And if so, we will have a Puck Time show on Monday. So that is good news. Buster, good to have you on. There's no Montreal Canadiens game for me to schedule tonight, unfortunately, because you're on, but they wouldn't have won anyway, so it's neither here nor there. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Carmine. I'm surprised. Like, you have a lot of connections. I'm surprised you didn't get to the NHL office and make Montreal play tonight somehow. But I'm glad to see that I don't have to go through that whole mess again, saying that they'll play really tough, and then they do play tough, but they still lose. So, but it's all good. And Andrew, haven't talked to you since the nice little week in Vegas there. So hopefully you did well in Vegas. I saw that picture with all you guys at dinner at the Lord Nelson there, and everybody looked quite happy in a festive spirit. And yeah, hopefully you had a lot of good times in Vegas. I know you probably saw Ralph and some of the other boys there. I'm sure Ralph probably had about maybe he was having an off day, only had 15, 16 Millers or Miller Lite, I believe he drinks. But anyways, good to see you guys. And yes, it's unfortunate that we only have a couple of games, and it's unfortunate that there's going to be no hockey over Christmas. But lots of other sports out there. So
it's a great time to reacquaint yourselves with your families over the next 3-4 days. You know what I mean? And find out what the likes and dislikes are from, with my wife. I found her on the couch. So she knows who I am again, as she will know over the next 3 or 4 days. And then she'll be begging for hockey to come back. But Andrew.
Carm, the whole point is that they don't get to know us too well. That's why we watch sports, So, but Buster, it was a great time. I appreciate that. And unfortunately, I didn't really get to drink too much with the guys because it was a lunch. So it didn't stop me and Ski Profit from having a few pops, but the rest of the gentlemen waited until the evening to get going. But it was a great trip, great cup overtime. It was an awesome time.
That is got to be the lamest thing, yes, Andrew, I've ever heard. It's only lunch. You're in Vegas on the holidays. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, dude. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So
yeah, I was going to say you're in Vegas. Come on, I mean, you wake up.
Drank. You guys hear me? I said I drank. The boys like Marco and Ralph didn't drink.
Well, Marco's not a drinker. He's a Dr. Pepper guy, I believe. So
right.
You're never going to see him drinking a beer and such. So.
All right. Well, also, I will say this. I just want to mention this before we start the show. We're talking about stuff besides the NHL. I will have some World Junior picks out. And some people out there might be kind of surprised by this or think it's like a reach. I've been betting World Juniors for years. I have a couple strategies I've always used. It's very interesting. For those of you guys who have never bet it before, you are literally laying sometimes field goals, touchdowns in the World Juniors with these hockey spreads. The puck lines are no longer -1.5. You will see 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 when these teams go at each other. And it's a very entertaining hockey. And it's a good showcase to see the future of hockey and the future of NHL top prospects. So be on the lookout for that over at WagerTalk.com. But let's jump into today, guys. Let's jump into our very first game of the 2 games. We will start off with the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers are +120 at home. Washington -140 on the highway. Total is at 6. Carm, kick us off here, man. One of the last games we were discussing on this last Puck Time episode for a few days here.
Yeah, this is one of those odd times in sports where tonight, at Wells Fargo Arena, you have Washington and Philadelphia on the ice, and literally 100 yards away at Lincoln Financial Field, you have Washington and Philadelphia on the football field playing an NFL game. So if you're driving to the game, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. This is not a game you want to be, or this isn't a venue you want to be trying to get in and out of the parking lots, because I believe our producer, Dan, who is an Eagles fan, told me that they share the parking lot at these the stadium and arena. As far as it goes, originally I saw this morning that Carter Hart was listed as, the expected goalie. I didn't see how that could be possible, because he is, I believe, he was listed as out with an illness. I do see that Marty Jones is confirmed now as the goalie, just as we went to air or went live, that's confirmed. He is the starting goalie in net tonight. I'll be honest with you. Last night we looked at a game where the total was 5.5 split, sort of juice-wise, and maybe these players are ready to head into this little mini break that they're going to get to their families, because there wasn't a lot of defensive play in that game. That was some back and forth pond hockey. I have a feeling in both these games we see something similar. The total here, I think, is 6. The total in the other game is at 5.5. And I'll probably be looking at like maybe some first period overs in both of these games. Flyers played well in that game, and they're playing well of late. But again, they're the teams that they're beating: New Jersey Devils, Ottawa, Arizona. They did have that win in Vegas against the Golden Knights, and then lose in OT to Montreal. But they're picking up points. If it's too little, I think it's a little too little, too late. Washington is the better team here. There's just a slew of players out in this game. This might be one of those games where you want to pass. If I had to take a side, I would take Washington, just laying the low number, because with the players, if everyone was in this game and playing, this Washington Capitals team would probably be about minus 165. They're at minus 140. So there's a drop off of about 25 cents with them. You got Backstrom out. You got Kuznetsov out. Oshie out. There's some significant players. And then you have players out, Couture out as well, too. He's got 17 points, 6 goals, 11 assists. It's still a big miss for them. Anytime you're missing players, it's a big miss. I'm going to look for I'm just going to look for a pond hockey type game, Andrew, and I'm going to go over the total, likely in the first period and the game here. Buster, give me your thoughts.
Tend to agree with you, Carmine. Both these games, I watched that game last night, and I totally agree. There's one more game. They know that they're not playing till Monday at least. Some of these guys aren't even playing. Their schedule doesn't allow them to play till Tuesday or Wednesday. Not too sure about these two teams. Yeah, I like this game over too. And right away, once I saw that Hart wasn't playing and Jones was playing, that obviously looks really good for Washington and not so good for Philly. But what it does do is it looks good for the over. And right now it's 6 under 10, under 20. So you might want to wait around a bit and see if you can pick up a 5.5 over 20 or something. But the last 4 games for Jones, he's allowed over 4.5 goals a game with the teams. Philly's gone over 6 of their last 8. Washington's gone over 9 of their last 12. So there's lots of like here on the over, especially as what you said, Carmine, with the thought process of that there's not going to be much defense tonight. As far as the side goes here, I think, like you mentioned, COVID kind of kills the side. You don't know who's going to be in for Washington. They had a bunch of guys out. But I don't know if I'd lay 140 with them anyways, really. Philly is playing a little bit better. They've won 4 of the last 5 games. Actually, Jones has even won a couple games for him, allowing like 3 goals in each one of those. But, yeah, for me, I don't want no part of this side. That's for sure. Not with the not knowing who's going to play. Although there's a lot of good professionals here, and they know how to put the puck in the net. It's over for us, guys.
Well, guys, I kind of feel like I have a lot of, understanding for some of these guys at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, all the handicappers that were frustrated, especially last year doing the NBA, because that's how I feel right now with this, except for it's not load management BS. We're just dealing with actual illnesses and COVID protocol. But, I remember listening to the WagerTalk NBA tip-off show or doing my own research. And, before you even start analyzing matchups, we have to ask ourselves who the hell are playing. And that's kind of how I feel right now in the NHL. And Carm went down the list, discussed, the guys that are out for the Washington Capitals. Of course, there's a handful of guys out for Philadelphia as well. But it's all accounted for in the line. And that's what we all have to remember, is that it's the same thing with a point spread sport. In this money line sport, it's all accounted for. These guys know exactly what we know. You guys are not getting an advantage by any means on your pick or on your price with any guys being out. It's all accounted for in that lineup. It's a good point. And Buster, the funny thing is about Marty Jones is that, I've kind of had the same thought as you. I've been looking to fade him when I can. Bet against him, bet some even player props for shots over just because they allow so many shots. But one thing about Marty Jones is his rebounds. He has poor rebound control. It's almost like he's actually a good goaltender on his first shot, and then he just gives up a juicy rebound every single time. And you'll notice that he'll almost impress you off the bat with a nice pad save or blocker save, and then that deflection just goes out to another forward. It happens pretty much every game for them. But yeah, that Carter Hart information is huge. Not having him in there. But I think that what Carm said to start things off about these guys getting ready to pack it in, as much as they might not think that themselves, I think we'll see that happen. Psychologically, you guys are this is your last game. 2 games tonight are the last game for several days. You go home to wherever you're from. You hop on that plane tonight. You get to go see your family, not just your family in the hometown you're in right now, where you play hockey, but where you're actually from. That's a thing, So I think we'll see an over as well, despite not seeing the usual suspects playing and the usual goal scorers out there with some of these guys like Kuznetsov and those key guys out. I believe we'll see it. And Buster, before we move on to the next game, I got to ask you, because you've been doing this a long time. You always talk about pricing, and I'm with you. I think that it's okay to get a little bit of an extra number on the 5.5 versus the 6. And I know that with money lines, you always tell people to be careful with big prices, but to just confirm with you, you're okay with someone going minus 120 on the 5.5 to avoid that 6. Is that right?
I do. I've been doing it for probably 30 years or whatever since they've been doing. Actually, it used to always just be minus 110. You didn't have all this other crap that we have now, like 140. Like, it's just ridiculous what the bookmakers are getting away with. But because we have a ton of people gambling now, they can do it, and you see it all over the internet where guys are telling you, yeah, don't lay these big prices on props and stuff. I don't do props, but yeah, I'm always right there to lay 5.5, 120 instead of getting plus maybe having to lay minus 105 at 6 because I want that win, right? And I always say 6 is very easy to get to in this NHL, and I know there's a lot of unders in the NHL as well. But in certain games, if you can pick the right spots, 6 is very easy to get to. So that's why I tell people today, just hang in there and see if they bet this down to 5.5, and then grab that over.
Yeah, and just to jump in before we go on to the next game, listen, if you have an opinion on the game, on who you're going to play, the fact that there's only 2 games, we had I think 8 or 9 games canceled due to COVID protocols. You might want to wait on it if you because there's going to be more action on these games than there normally would. So the line is going to move. That Vegas line, if you like the total and the over, the over, you might want to take the 5.5 now because it's going to likely hit 6. The juice is already trending that way. If you like the under, then just sit and wait. Allow everyone to keep betting the over, let it hit 6, and then you take the under, and you've got an extra half goal to work with. There's going to be more action on these games. Obviously, I'd rather be talking about marquee games like Carolina and Boston, Nashville and Winnipeg are both playing well, and of course, what would have been the game of the night, Arizona and the Seattle Kraken. But we're talking about these games, unfortunately. But there's going to be more action on these games, I'm telling you. And if you have an opinion and you're sticking to it based on what you think the lineups will be and who the starting goalers will be, you might want to wait on it, like I said, or take advantage of the lines that are going to move against you in those games. So, or for you. So, if you like the under, I say you sit on the Vegas one because it's never going lower than 5.5. It can only go to 6 if you like the under. But if you like the over, you might want to jump on that now.
Yeah, patience is key right now in handicapping in general, but today it is huge. So I'm with Carmine. Great point there made by him. Patience is key. Make sure you get the right number, but also make sure you know who's out there for the team you want to bet on. Make sure that roster, that lineup, the goaltender is confirmed, and you know who's going to be playing before you place that wager. Carm, he mentioned some good games that unfortunately were postponed, canceled for today. But our last game, Carm, this is a good game, man. This is the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm happy to have this one as at least the last game for a few days here. Tampa Bay plus 100, Vegas minus 120. Tampa Bay 7-3 their last 10. Vegas 8-2 their last 10. They return home off their mini road trip here. Buster, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I'm really like Vegas here. Really like it over. Vegas has looked really good looks like they got everybody back. I think Stone might not have played the other game, but he might play tonight. They've won 5 straight. On the other side of things, Tampa Bay have won 8 of the last 9. But we're all in with this Vegas club. We're going to bet Vegas. We're going to bet the over here. 125 seems a pretty short price to me. And although this game does go against one of my handicapping philosophies, as this is going to be Vegas's first home game off of a road trip. But I think this whole COVID situation, the whole shutdown situation makes it a little bit of a moot point, especially when Tampa Bay, they already canceled their game on Saturday, obviously. They haven't played since Thursday. But what they did on Sunday, they came into Vegas late Sunday afternoon. So they've been in Vegas for a couple of nights. They know they don't play. I don't know if they've even brought some family in there or what they've been doing. But you know what? They haven't played since Thursday. They're in Vegas for 2 nights. It's Christmas time. I can actually really see, you know what happened to Tampa Bay their last game? Last game on their road trip, what did they do? No show. They no show in Ottawa for nothing. This game probably means nothing to them at all. I know this could be maybe a Stanley Cup matchup, but they don't care at all. They want to get in here. They want to get out. It's going to be pond hockey like Carmine and you have been saying this game as well. I think they go up and down. Vegas has got, to me, they have guys that are going to score, and they also have the home crowd. Last game before Christmas, the whole bit. And then with the over here, the over in Vegas games are 13-5 the last 18. And with Vegas having 1 day of rest, they're 4-1 to the over. So like it over. Give the Christmas present to the Vegas fans. I think Vegas wins this game, maybe 5-2, 5-3. I don't see Tampa Bay really caring or much of a show tonight.
We haven't seen the Vegas Golden Knights score less than 3 goals in over 11 games. I think it actually might be more than that. This is a team that even when they're losing games, they're putting goals on the board. So I'm right there with Buster. We're both expecting an exciting game here, or at least an action-packed one, to say the least. And Buster, you mentioned the first game back after a road trip, and I think a lot of us follow that same philosophy in handicapping to try and notice spots like that. And one thing in particular I started talking about with Carmine was not just the first game after a road trip, first game after a successful road trip, where you might be kind of feeling, as Marco would say, fat and sassy. But it's kind of a moot point, like you said, with this being the last game. They might want to go out there, T-Mobile Arena, get a win in front of their home fans or put forward a good performance. And right now, with the way they're scoring, I don't want to get in front of that. I don't want to step in front of the way that they're scoring and the way that they're getting a collected effort out of their entire team right now. I think we'll see a fast pace in this one. But Carm, to Buster's point about the Ottawa Senators, about the Tampa Bay Lightning and some of the games they've slipped up in, I don't know if they don't really care about it. I just feel like Vegas might care a little bit more. But I'm sure Tampa Bay wants to end off on a good note as well.
Yeah, I have to believe so. I'm not entirely convinced, and we probably won't find out the starting goaltenders for a while, but I'm not entirely convinced it's going to be Lehner and Vasilevsky. It should be Lehner and Vasilevsky. You want your best goalies in the final game before you head off to the break and stuff. That game that Buster mentioned, Tampa Bay threw in a dud against Ottawa, but they had won the 5 previous games and the 2 since. They started Elliott in goal that net, and I get it, they didn't score, but they didn't offer him much help defensively as well too. So I think that was a throwaway game for him, or so it seems. Or we'd be talking about we'd be talking about a Tampa Bay team on an 8-game win streak heading to Vegas. This is Vegas' second time now returning from an East Coast trip. The last time they faced the Seattle Kraken, that game finished 4-2. So it did, I think it landed on the total. That total was 6 in that game. We're getting 5.5 here. And the only reason I think we're getting 5.5 here is just because of how Tampa has played defensively over the last 10, 15 games. Because the Vegas overs are 7-3, they're past 10. And you would look at the overs. Again, I'm thinking And it might not be the case, but we're going to see a game similar, maybe not the same score line, but similar to last night's game where you have two teams that can score and likely will score tonight. So I like the over 5.5 here. I'm not going to touch the sides. Their two teams are playing extremely well. You can flip a coin on that one. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm staying away from the side. I'm taking the total and looking for some goals tonight in this one, Andrew.
Yeah, it seems like we're all on the same page in this one. Looking for some goals between the three of us. And like we talked about in the previous game, I'm not sure if this is going to move quite a bit, but it seems like action's heavily coming in on this over. So it seems like everybody agrees with us. Not always a great thing, as we always joke around with, but we're getting the 5.5, jumping on it early just in case we do end up seeing a 6 in this one. But this actually will be a game. Yesterday I mentioned on the show that I may be tweeting out some prop picks. I never did that yesterday. Just didn't really find anything I actually liked in that. This will be one that I will be interested in, some props, just looking for the right picks to come out. But these availabilities for the lines and just for the markets all around, to come out with these props. That's what I look for, because right now I'm not trying to, knock on anybody else out there, but you'll see some props being, posted online from one book that you can't get anywhere else. So if I give you guys a prop right now from a book that I bet on, but you guys can't bet, how's that fair for you guys? I'm going to have fun and make that bet and tell you guys I'm on it. But if I know that, DraftKings or FanDuel or this book or that can't bet it right now, I'm not going to give it out. But on our Puck Time Twitter account, I'll try and release one or two, because there should be some good opportunities tonight as far as the prop betting markets go. But it's a great game to end off our NHL for at least the last couple days here. Two really red-hot teams getting it done. And like Carm mentioned, the last time that Vegas came home after an East Coast road trip, that total was still up there and ended up pushing. One thing I wanted to mention to both of you guys, I want to ask, I'll start with you, Buster. The Islanders are still a good hockey team. Rangers are a good team and stuff like that. But when you look at some of these wins, let's say Tampa Bay had, or some of these teams that Tampa has faced, we got Ottawa, LA, and Ottawa again. Is it a case right now with this Tampa Bay team where maybe they need to face a good team like Vegas? They've been playing some subpar teams, and this could be a wake-up call for them?
Be a wake-up call, but I know myself, to my all-access NHL clients, I've been saying Tampa Bay might be one of these teams. I know they're Stanley Cup champs, but they've won 8 out of 9, but they really haven't looked that good doing it. If I could even say that, it's bizarre. Because they're the champs, they know how to win. They came like a couple of weeks ago. They came back on Montreal there. The other night they end up losing. They end up winning against Los Angeles, I believe. Like you say, they had played Ottawa. Ottawa was their only defeat. But I'm sticking to my guns, Andrew. I don't even think I think Tampa Bay's doesn't play that well tonight. I know it's a big game in Vegas, but everything tells me from what I've seen and just the way they've gone about this, travel wise and everything, just tells me that Vegas to play, and they'll worry about getting any kind of revenge when they play again or whatever they have to do. But if they play in the Stanley Cup final, that's when they'll play. Tonight's game, unless Vasilevsky plays lights out, I think Vegas is an easy winner.
Right. And Carm, for the record, I'm not saying that Tampa Bay hasn't played any good teams, but just the past couple games for them haven't really been against, Vegas Golden Knight caliber teams. They did beat Toronto a few games back, but I feel like this is a game they're going to get up for.
Yeah, when you're talking about teams at the top of the East playing teams in the top of the West, and I'm not talking about in the number one spots, but near the top or at the top, you always want to beat them. If you're the Vegas Golden Knights, you're playing the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions. They're the team you have to beat. They're the team you want to beat. It's what I said. You've got two very good teams. I just couldn't. If you put a gun to my head, I couldn't pick one for you. Which is why I'm leaning to the over. I get it. If it's Lehner and Vasilevsky, you're going to think, oh, two very good goalies. It's going to be tough. it's probably tougher with Vasilevsky in net as opposed to Lehner in net, because if you look at his home games, there's quite a few games where he's allowed 3, 4, and 5 goals at home. So while he's good, I think his goals against average is still just a tad over 3. By NHL standards, that's not the greatest, but he's playing for a very good Vegas Golden Knights team who are hot right now. That's why I'm leaning to the over of 5.5. If this was 6, I would stay off of it. And I would just say, sorry, guys, only 2 games tonight, and I don't like the game. But at 5.5, I'm going to take a shot on the over here.
So with the NHL wrapping up for a few days, and like I said, I'm hearing rumblings it might not be until the new year, 2022, that we do see the NHL return. So with that being said, I think it's very important to ask this question to both Don Buster and Carmine Bianco. What are you guys doing otherwise? But other sports, you're handicapping, other sports, you're advertising over at your websites. I'll start with you, Don Buster. What do you have up to grab besides the NHL for the next little while?
Well, college football and college basketball are 2 sports that we play a lot. We've been following for 30 years. I've been to like 5 Final Fours, been to numerous bowl games all through Florida and a lot of places. So those are 2 sports I love personally as a fan, and I've been betting, it seems, probably through a couple lifetimes here. Today, you can go over still. We have our CFB, like our college football bowl package special up still. We'll probably have it up to Christmas, and that'll be it. It's $99. We're already off to a good start with the college football bowl games, and you get 1 month free of NFL if you grab that package. There's still 32 games left. I already have all my games picked out, but we don't put them up because of COVID in case of last minute things. So yeah, that's something that you might want to go over and grab because we've been very successful. 5% plays. We have 3 that will come up this football college bowl season that we've already picked out, and we're 10-1 lifetime when we step out on those 5% college bowl releases. So I suggest everybody grab that package over at Sports Memo while you can.
That is a strong run over at sportsmemo.com. Look up Don Buster, and he's been betting college football for at least one of my lifetimes. That's for sure. You can guarantee
definitely.
That. Carmine Bianco, what's going on with you, man? I know you're betting soccer, plenty of other sports as well. What's up with you?
Yeah, Buster, I just checked my phone messages. I have not got one of those 10-1 run 5% plays from him. And he's been betting football since they had leather helmets, Andrew. So he's been around a long time. As far as myself, NHL, hopefully they don't cancel the games that are supposed to go next week. There still is EPL soccer. There's still some midweek soccer, and I have plays up at WagerTalk, including a 5% total that goes today. EPL will have their full Boxing Day card on Sunday, so I'll have a bunch of plays, props, and stuff there. A bit of a teaser for you guys. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should, because I'll have pinned on my Twitter page, either tomorrow or on Thursday, a special gift for all of you who are my followers and watch here. I'm not going to tell you what it is now. The only guy who knows is our producer, Dan, and he's not going to tell you either. So check my Twitter page, follow me, and of course, subscribe to this channel. We're almost at 90,000 viewers here. Let's hit that 90,000 mark before the end of this year. And that's pretty much it. Some NFL football, of course, on the weekend as well, too. So some football, some hockey, and some soccer from me, Andrew.
Awesome stuff. And I'm going to be getting back a little bit into the soccer mix. I've been betting soccer very lightly, but not releasing too much. But NBA basketball got back in the mix yesterday. Utah Jazz, first half, -7.5. Easy blowout type winner. So happy to get back in the win column with the NBA. And clients can expect a bunch of NBA selections from me moving forward. Of course, NHL tonight for me, but you guys already know what I like. We're hoping for some goals, pretty much, especially in that later game with the Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights. Let's jump into some best bets. And again, a little bit of promos here. Don Buster, we'll start with you with your best bet for today.
Okay, guys. Of course, there's only 2 games, so I will go back to my usual first period plays. Last week we ended up pushing. We took Los Angeles at a good price against Tampa. Tampa scored in last 2 minutes, I believe, to push that one for me. So a little bit bad luck for me and for all the viewers. So this time, like I said, I'm all in with Vegas. We're going to go Vegas first period puck line -0.5 plus 170. Like I said, first game since Thursday for Tampa Bay. They come into Vegas for a little bit early for 2 nights, and I really don't believe the interest factor is there compared to what Vegas will want to do in front of their home fans. Also, just like to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Be safe, and for my, you know what? I was going to say for my friends in Mexico, but you know what? Todos mis amigos y Mexico, Feliz Navidad y todo lo mejor. So, Merry Christmas. That means Merry Christmas and have a good and best wishes to all. Actually, I think I said mujer, which is a woman. So I meant mejor, which is better. So but you know what? Trying to get the language. I know lots of words, but it's difficult when you're my age and you're trying to learn another language. But I'm doing really well, and I should be fluent. I'm thinking maybe a couple more years. So, anyways,
That's
again,
awesome, Buster.
best to everyone over this holidays.
And I know that anybody listening will definitely have the utmost respect for you saying that. So that's awesome. You're learning a new language, and I'm sure you're excited to perfect it. But yeah, happy holidays to you, Buster. Always great chatting with you. Hopefully we'll meet someday. I know I was kind of in your neck of the woods over the past week, but of course you were in a lot hotter of a place and a nicer place to be this time of year. But happy holidays to you and your loved ones, Buster. Carmine, let's go to you, man. Best bet for you, or should I say Santa, because Carmine's always giving out gifts, but you'll have to wait to check Carmine's Twitter for his next gift. But let's get a best bet out of you, Carmine.
Yeah, I'm going to have a commercial up on my page soon with that. Just 1 second. But and thanks to Buster for that little bit of his Mexican there. Tune in next Tuesday. Buster is going to sing the Avocados from Mexico slogan from the last year's Super Bowl. But I'm going to go to the Vegas Golden Knights and Tampa Bay game for my best bet. I'm going to go to the first period over. Let's see some loose hockey from these teams closing out before the holiday break, and hopefully some goals tonight. I do like the full game total, but Andrew will mention that a little bit or next. I'm going to go with the first period over. It's -120, I believe. So over 1.5, -120. Vegas Golden Knights, Tampa Bay. That's my show best bet. Guys, again, happy holidays to you. Whatever you celebrate, celebrate it with family. Have a great time, and we will see you hopefully on Monday.
We hope to see everybody on Monday. Happy holidays to you, Carm. We will be talking, of course. Carmine is looking at the over in the first period, Tampa Bay and the Vegas Golden Knights. And like he mentioned, I'm looking at the over in the full game, over 5.5. Not just because I expect lots of goals and great offense. I also expect some sloppy defense on both ends. Tampa Bay haven't been playing the best defensive hockey themselves. Like Buster alluded to, they've kind of been winning these games, but you're scratching your head because it's not really been in, well, clean and impressive fashion. As far as this Vegas Golden Knights team goes, they've just been scoring goals left and right. And even games that they win, they're still allowing 3 or 4 in some of those games. First game back at home after their East Coast road trip. I expect a doozy tonight. Hopefully we get lots of goals to end off this NHL before we get a little bit of a break here. So over 5.5 in the Vegas Golden Knights, Tampa Bay Lightning. And just like these guys said, happy holidays to all of you guys. Merry Christmas. And I just want to say, before we recap those best bets, we really do appreciate all of you guys. I know this is a hockey betting show. I think we're very privileged to be able to come on here and to talk about hockey. If you can't tell, I hope you can, but I love talking hockey. I love talking hockey betting with all of these guys that I talk with every single week here. And I hope we see you guys before the new year, but if not, Happy New Year as well. Best of wishes. And we hope to see you guys again right here on WagerTalk TV. I don't ask for this much, guys, but it might be our last episode for a little while. Please, if you're watching this video, leave a like on the video, comment, and we really appreciate it, guys. So power plays Tampa Bay and Vegas over 5.5 for me. Carmine, the first period, over 1.5 in Vegas and Tampa. And Don Buster, Vegas first period minus a half goal plus 170. We are loaded up on that game. We wish you guys the best of luck, and we'll see you guys next time.
We know this business is loaded with competitors and copycats, and we are very proud and extremely excited to be one of, if not the premier sports betting information provider in North America. From a massive library of free picks and handicapping videos, daily shows, podcasts, and articles, our free live odds service, a team of the nation's finest sports handicappers supported with top-rated customer service, we pride ourselves on being the leaders in our industry, always looking to evolve and stay multiple steps ahead of our competitors. With that being said, we truly do want to let you know we appreciate your patronage. Moving forward, 7-day all-access packages will be reduced from $119 to just $99, and our 30-day all-access packages are also being slashed moving forward, going from $349 to under $10 a day at only $299. Our new pricing is already active and available just by going to your favorite handicapper's homepage right now.